Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this blanket here. Now it is a corner to corner rectangle. It's a very easy pattern to make, and it's really it's neat. Works up quickly. This blanket I made measures approximately 38 by 32. You can actually make it as big or as small as you like. But this is what it looks like. If you guys are not familiar with the corner to corner, it's a nice easy stitch to do. It's all double crochet. You start from the corner and you work your way out like that. But the yarn is super cool. I gotta give it that. So what do you say? You guys want to go ahead and get started on this? I know you can do it. It's super fun, super easy. Yep, let's do this. Let me set this over here to the side. Okay, now the yarn I used is Bernat Baby Crushed Velvet from Yarnspirations. Now, it's classified as a medium weight number 4. I would more say that it's a bulky 5. Now, you can use a medium weight number 4, any medium weight number 4, any bulky 5 that you want. But if you use a medium weight number 4, it probably will turn out smaller than mine. I would suggest maybe making more rows than I did, because this is definitely thicker than a 4. You can probably tell that. But you can even use a 3-weight. Just remember, you just make it to the size that you want it to be. But this is what I used. It's 100% polyester, super soft and silky feeling. Now there's 492 yards per skein, so we'll just say about 500 yards. You're probably going to need to make it my size about 800 yards of a bulky 5. Remember, even though it says 4, it's really not a 4. But you might need more. You're going to need more of that if you use a 4, more than that if you use a 4-weight. And then let's see, the color I have here is called Soft Scramble. It's such a cute name. It's such a pretty yellow too. I love the color of it. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. All right, now the corner, like I said, is nice, easy pattern. I'm going to show you with a different color yarn, because the velvet yarn is very hard to see the stitches on camera. So I'm just going to show you with the regular 4. This is just Red Heart Super Saver. This is just a sample, because like I said, it's hard to see those stitches on camera. So you want to start with that velvet with a slip knot on your hook. Now we're going to start with a chain of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. Now remember, we don't count the one that's on our hook. So count down to the 4th one and double crochet in it. And then we would put 1 double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches of the chain. Just like that. And that is your first block, which is row 1. So why don't we look and see what we got? So we got the 3 doubles we did, and we got this little chain here on the end. So that's what all our blocks are going to consist of. 3 doubles and then a chain. It'd be a chain 3. So let's start row 2 by chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I think it's always easier to make the block first and then turn your work. So let's go ahead and work again. In the 4th stitch from the hook, we do a double crochet. And then a double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches of that chain. So that is your second block, just like that. Now, turn your work. Like that. That's what it looks like when you turn it. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the chain 3 space of this block here, like that. So that made that come together there. Now what we're going to do is chain 3, go back into the same little space and do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, like that. Here you go, there's row 2. Now you got 2 blocks there and 1 there. Let's start again. We're going to chain 6. Every time we chain 6, that is meaning that we're increasing the row. So we're going to double crochet in the 4th stitch from our chain again, and then double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches, and then let's turn this work like this. Oops, sorry, like that. And now we need to slip stitch into this chain space of our next brick, like that. Now in this particular brick in the middle, since it's not on the end, we don't do any increases, so that's why we chain 3 as opposed to chaining 6. It's just a regular brick. It's not an increase. Increase comes on the ends. So we chain 3. We're going to go back into the same space and do 3 double crochets. Like that. Now we are going to slip stitch into our chain 3 space here on the end. Now we need to do a regular brick here on the end before we do an increase, so we have to chain 3, go back into space and do 3 double crochets, like that, and that would be row 3. Now we got 3. Now let's start again. Since we're on the end, we're going to do an increase. Chain 6. Double crochet in the 4th from the hook. And double crochet once in the remaining 2 stitches of the chain. Oops. Crunchy paper down there. Like that. Now let's turn our work, and whenever you turn your work, just remember this guy is going to be hanging off to the side a little bit. That's fine, because what we're going to do is slip stitch into this chain space of our next brick, and that will fold him up to where he's supposed to be, like that. See that? Now we're going to do a chain of 3, because we're in the middle. We only do chain 6 on the end. Go back in and do 3 more double crochets. Now everybody has their own way of doing corner to corner. If you've never done it before, this is my way. If you've done it before, yours could be different, but in the end they all work out the same. Again, we're going to slip stitch into the next chain space right here. We're still in the middle of our blanket, so we just do a regular block, which is a chain 3, 3 more doubles back into that same spot, now we got to go to the end here, and on the end we have to do a regular block before we do the increase. So we go ahead and slip stitch into it, that chain space, and do our regular block that's not an increase. So we chain 3, go back in and work 3 doubles, and that will end row 4. And we got 4 squares there. And this is kind of the repeat that we're going to continue doing. I mean, this is it until we decide to start decreasing to make it a rectangle, which I'll show you how to do that later. So again, we're just going to continue. We're going to start on the end. We start with a row with a chain of 6. This is our increase stitch. Now we are going to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook again. Double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches of the chain, just like that. Turn the work around. See how your guy's facing this way? Now we're going to go up to this next block right here in the chain space and slip stitch. Just like that. And that brings that guy straight like he's supposed to be. Now we chain 3. We're going to do just regular blocks now until we get to the end. Go back in that same space and work 3 doubles. Go up to the next block right here, chain 3 space, slip stitch into it, and we work our regular block, chain 3, 3 doubles back into that space. Next block right here, slip stitch, work a regular block, so chain 3, 3 doubles back into the same spot. And here's our last block. Now remember, the last block always has to have 1 regular block into it. So slip stitch into that chain space, chain 3, go back into it and work 3 doubles. And there we go. That finished out row 5. And you got 5 squares. That's it. That's what we're going to keep doing. Back and forth, back and forth. We'd start again with the chain 6, and then we turn, and we would continue doing what we're doing. That's it. That's the corner to corner. Pretty easy, huh? Let me do it one more time. Chain 6, double into the 4th from our hook, and into the remaining 2 stitches of the chain. Turn your work. Now we are going to slip stitch into this chain here, like that. And now we're going to work up, doing just the regular blocks. So chain 3, 3 doubles back into the same spot. Slip stitch into this next chain space here on the end of this block. Chain 3. Three doubles. Slip stitch into the chain space of the next block right here. Chain 3. 3 doubles. Slip stitch into the chain space of the next block. Chain 3, 3 doubles, And we're at our last block. Remember, we have to do a regular block in our last one. So go into that chain space there, slip stitch, chain 3, go back into it and work 3 doubles. And that would be row 6. There it is. It's six blocks. That's it. Corner to corner. Pretty cool, huh? Then you would just chain 6 again, turn your work, and go across for row 7. It's pretty easy. So we're going to continue doing this until we get it the bottom, the width that we want it to be, and then we'll start decreasing one side, and I'll show you how to do that. All right. So I have done a total of 32 rows, and I'm at my edge here. Excuse me. And I'm going to give you a quick measurement. That landed me at about 32 inches. So that will be the width of my blanket. Now I'm going to work on the length, and I'm going to do that by decreasing this side while still increasing the other side, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is, once you can make it bigger. If you want it bigger than 32, you keep going as big as you want. But what I'm going to do now is, it's always best, I think, and easiest. I don't often use stitch markers unless I'm working in a round, but just place a stitch marker here. That way you know this is the corner that we're decreasing on. We're not doing any increasing on this side. So I'm just going to use this piece of yarn here. That way, you don't get mixed up. Sometimes they just start to look the same. There we go. I'll cut that a little shorter in a minute, but that way I know that that's going to be my decreasing. So what we're going to do is, so I have turned my work. I want to slip stitch 3 times until I get to this chain space here. So remember, I ended right here by slip stitching into this chain 3. Or into this space here like normal. Normally we would chain and start again. But instead of doing that, I'm going to turn and we're going to work our first decrease. So we're going to slip stitch 3 times. I'm just going to slip stitch through in between these stitches. All right, I'm going to go right in between them. So there's 1. I'm going to go in between the next 2 double crochets. There's 2. And then I'm going to go right here into the next chain space, and 3, like that. So there is my first decrease, and you can see that it's now going to start moving straight up as opposed to working out on the bottom. That's what we want. So now we're going to start again. We are going to chain 3, and we're going to work 3 double crochets back into this chain space. And then we will slip stitch right here into this chain space. So we're just going to work it like normal until we get up to the other end. Chain 3. And go back into the chain space and work your 3 doubles. It's really not hard at all. Once you get the hang of it, it's just super easy. Like that. Again, go to your next one, slip stitch, chain 3, work your 3 doubles. Now we're going to just continue this. It's the same thing we've been doing until we get up to this corner up here, and that's where I'm going to meet you. But as you can see from my decrease, now the side is going to start working straight up, because we're always decrease this side with the stitch marker, and it will continue up. So this is the bottom of our blanket. So just continue what you've been doing until you get to that top corner up there. All right, I've made it to the end. So to do the corner to corner like we're doing in a rectangle, we have to decrease on the one end, and then we continue on the other end doing the same thing, increasing as we always have been doing. So it's just going to be the same as we've always done. We're going to slip stitch into that chain space there, that last one, chain 3, and work our 3 doubles like that. And then we would start again by chaining 6, just like we did before, and work a double crochet in the 4th from the hook. It's hard to see with this yarn. Double crochet in the 4th from the hook, and then double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches of the chain. Just like that, just like we always did. And then, you know, you turn our work and we start again the same way. So we slip stitch right here into our next chain space, like that, chain 3, 3 doubles into that chain space. Again, slip stitch into our next chain space, chain 3, 3 doubles into the same chain space. So we're doing the same thing that we've always been doing. The only difference now is we're decreasing on one end of the blanket on that one last stitch. That's the only difference that we're doing. Everything else is still the same. So slip stitch here, chain 3, and 3 doubles. So I'm going to continue this all the way down to the bottom to where our stitch marker is, to where we need to decrease, and I'll show you how to decrease one more time. So just continue as normal, working your corner to corner. And I'll meet you at the bottom. Alright, so I've made it down here. You can see this is my decreasing, because here's my stitch marker. And here's my last stitch. As you can see, since we're decreasing, it's starting to go up. So we're not working in these stitches anymore. Here's my last stitch right here. So again, I'm going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space. And then I want to turn my work around and start again by decreasing here, and we slip stitch 3 times until we get to our chain 3 space. I slip stitch between the double crochets, but you can slip stitch on top of them, it doesn't really matter. But I go in between, so there's 1 slip stitch, 2 slip stitch, and 3 slip stitch will bring you to that chain 3 space. And then we start by chaining 3 and 3 double crochets back into that same stitch. And that is how we work the decrease on this end only, remember. And you can see it's straightening out that edge. It's starting to go straight up to the top as opposed to growing from the bottom. And that's what we're going to do. So we just keep repeating our same pattern to the top. Chain 3 again. And then when we get to the top, we don't do anything different. We just increase that like always, like we always have been with our chain 6 and double crochet in the 4th from the hook, and then the next 2 chains, it's the same. So I'm just going to keep repeating this, decreasing on this one end. And that's the only difference now, is every time we get to the end here on this side with the stitch marker, we decrease on our last stitch. Continue up and do the other end the same as we've always been doing. Continue back down, and then you decrease on the next stitch. So this side will start to go up vertically as the other side starts to continue working the same as it has been. It's actually working vertically now too, you know, because we got our bottom flat. So remember, the only thing that's different now is we are decreasing on this bottom here, making this side go straight up as opposed to keep going longer. Decreasing on this one end and still doing the same thing that we've always been doing on the other end. We're going to continue this till we get our blankets bigger. Just like that. All right, here we are now. So I've been decreasing this side. As you can see, it's going straight. It's going straight up like it's supposed to. Now what, and I've been increasing this top part as normal. So what you want to do is you want to keep increasing until you get this increased side as long as you want it to be. So I have done 39 rows. So that's where I want to stop. And now I will start decreasing on this side as well as this side. Continue decreasing on this side. So I'm at the top here, and what we do is we just decrease the side that we've been increasing the same way we decreased the bottom. So now it's just, instead of decreasing on one side and increasing on the other, now it's just going to be decreasing on both sides. So you just slip stitch here into your chain space like that. Camera down a little bit for you, sorry about that. And then you want to turn your work, and we're going to start decreasing. So we will do 3 slip stitches here right through the double crochets here, like you could do in the top or right through them. But there's 1, 2, and there's 3. Now we're going to start off with a chain 3 and work 3 more doubles into that chain space. So no more chain 6s now. I'm not going to be doing those anymore because those are increases. Now we're just going to be doing decreases, just like that. Now this side will start to go straight too. It will no longer increase anymore. So now we just work our pattern like normal. Slip stitch into there, chain 3, and go back in and work 3 more doubles until you get to the other end, and then you just decrease the other end like normal. Come back up here to this side and then decrease this side just like we decreased it down there. That's it. Remember, we're not doing any more chain 6s. Those are gone. No more of those. Slip stitch in your next chain 3 space. Chain 3. And we do this all the way to the top. And eventually it's going to decrease down to one little block. There we go. So I'll continue doing that. I'm sorry I don't have much room here to show you. All the way up here to my side that I already started decreasing. Decrease here, work my way back up again, and decrease here, work my way back up, decrease, or just decreasing now on both ends, and it'll come together as a pretty blanket, hopefully. Okay, now once you're done decreasing, you have nothing left, just that one block left. You just tie off, hide all your tails, and you're finished. That's it. Now, as far as borders go, if you want to put a border on mine, or on yours, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put one on mine. I think mine looks pretty good. without one. But if you want to put one on, suggestions could be a nice simple single crochet border, very simple shell border, something like that, double crochet border, anything like that. But I kind of like the way it looks plain myself. Sometimes I border my blankets, sometimes I don't. This one I think I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to take away from the yarn. I think the yarn is gorgeous. It's neat. So that's it. Simple rectangle, corner to corner. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I have hundreds of them. I'm going to put a playlist of all my tutorials there on the right hand side of the screen. If you want to, if you got any extra time, you could go through there and maybe there's something that else that you'll find and want to make. I have just about anything that you can think of. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a good day.